The headlines: the Minister of Finance and Treasury, Honourable Manasseh Sogovare, slams the leader of the opposition, Honourable Matiwale, reports on the $29 million tax exemption to Wanchen Company Limited. The opposition and the Independent Parliament Group called on the government to not delay the 2025 budget, and PRC and Solomon Islands signs visa exemption agreement for ordinary passport holders from both countries. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Sharon Nanau. The Minister of Finance and Treasury, Honourable Manasseh Sogovare, slams the leader of the opposition, Honourable Matiwale, reports on the $29 million tax exemption to Wanchen Company Limited. The opposition leader last week called out the Jinat government's decision to provide tax exemption to Wanchen Company Limited as blatant betrayal of the people of Solomon Islands. Speaking to local media today, Honourable Sogovare refutes the claims made by Honourable Wale and explains the exemption provided as advised by the Exemption Committee.
Well, the truth about the exemption in question is as follows, ladies and gentlemen. The company in question is proposing an investment in wharf and warehousing upgrade of $40.9 million and $52.2 million in apartment and resort project. A total of nearly $94 million of investment. On the 26th of February, 2024, the former Minister of Finance granted the company in question on the recommendations of the Exemption Committee. The Minister does not work alone. The Exemption Committee, after they are satisfied that investment will contribute immensely to the development of the country. Tax and duty exemptions order numbers 0122/24 and 0125/24 were issued before the national general elections. After the formation of the government in early May 2024, I was appointed as Minister of Finance. On taking up the post, the Exemption Committee recommended that the Minister issue new orders on the same exemption, replacing the orders mentioned above, which is reviewable every 6 months. These orders are circulated in the media by some people who are working with the opposition and the media, so it is common knowledge. These orders will expire in a couple of weeks' time, in mid-November. That is to allow the government to review the implementation of the exemption, and that's how it works. The exemptions were hardly utilized, ladies and gentlemen. So there is very minimal loss of revenue. Very minimal. On the proposed tourist resort, the company only did backfilling on the project site and have yet to import the materials required for the resort. Some works are going on the construction of the wharf and warehouse at the Renati compound. And as noted earlier, ladies and gentlemen, the exemption was recommended by the Exemption Committee because of its strong connection to the sector highly prioritized by the government, and that is tourism. If we are to attract more tourists into the country, ladies and gentlemen, one of the critical issues we need to address is the problem of inadequate numbers of beds. We hear this from the Ministry of Tourism. The government needs investors to invest in these critical infrastructures. And as Minister of Finance, my duty is to ensure that government achieves its objective. This investment, ladies and gentlemen, is right within the strategy to achieve this objective. To demonstrate government's seriousness, we will, for the first time in years, increase the Ministry of Culture and Tourism budget in 2025.
Honorable Sogovare adds allegations made by the opposition leader against him in terms of his leadership and character is politically motivated.
We'll be submitting a full report on the utilization of the exemptions to justify any extensions. And I made it very clear to them over the weekend. What I also find very disturbing, ladies and gentlemen, is the allegation that I am out of control and pursuing my own interest in the Ministry of Finance. And after making very bold statements about exemptions on the floor of Parliament, I failed to live up to that commitment. I find that allegation very, very disturbing and insulting, and only goes to prove that people just do not care about what they are reporting, even if they are untrue and misleading, and at worst, having political overtone. Just like any leaders, ladies and gentlemen, I find careless attack on my character and integrity very, very insulting. And I have a duty to protect it. I want to make it very clear, ladies and gentlemen, that I have not erred one bit from my commitment to implement the actions I announced on the floor of Parliament.
Honorable Sogovare also clarifies that he is yet to refuse any local exemption application that comes before him.
On other allegations, ladies and gentlemen, the report carelessly alleged that the government is not concerned about the people of this country. I find that very, very disturbing. Very disturbing. It is the same kind of attack by the opposition that led to the unfortunate situation we went through in 2021. It is now, costing us millions of dollars to address those who have suffered. As far as tax exemption is concerned, ladies and gentlemen, I have yet to turn down any genuine request for exemptions by Solomon Islanders, indigenous Solomon Islanders. Let me make this clear. There is nothing stopping Solomon Islanders to invest in tourism and other sectors to benefit from tax exemptions. Nothing stopping them. As a matter of fact, our tax system has provisions that specifically address indigenous investors. That's how serious the government is. The government is ever ready to assist any Solomon Islander who is willing to take the risk to venture into these sectors.
Government reports on the Tina River hydropower project will benefit the country's sectors. The project's impact is aimed at improving economic conditions for Honiara in line with the Solomon Islands National Development Strategy 2016 to 2035. Elisa Kugutu reports.
Government has high expectations for the Tina River hydropower project as it is poised to benefit various sectors in the country. Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele says positive social and economic benefits are anticipated as the project is being implemented.
We have a number of expectations on that, right from construction to the completion of the project come 2028. First, there is this economic opportunity. It will provide employment for our people who will be working here on the dam, on the project. It will also provide skills development in this area in terms of dam construction. So that's on the economic front. In terms of energy costs, I think that's where the greatest expectation and benefit that we'll have. We expect this project will reduce electricity costs. It will reduce tariffs on electricity, therefore providing a good number or a lot of business and economic opportunities for our people, especially here in Honiara. Thirdly, I think there will also be social benefits in terms of the impacts it will have on schools, on health, as well as other social sectors, apart from the economic opportunities that I have just referred to.
Honorable Manele adds the hydropower project also marks Solomon Islands' investment in renewable energy to mitigate the impacts of climate change.
It marks the beginning of a major effort in terms of renewable energy investment in our country, and that is important in our efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So we are doing our part in terms of taking efforts and measures to address and to mitigate the impacts of climate change, especially greenhouse gas emissions. So that is important for our people. Fourthly, there will be benefits for our people, immediately for our people here, the surrounding communities, the landowners, not only in terms of household energy, but as I've said, there will be impacts for them as well in terms of health, education.
As the project progresses, communities in central Guadalcanal voiced their support for the project.
Tina River Hydro Development Project hem also lo site lo central Guadalcanal hem one pala major project where this arrive lo ya. We fala experience mota small project like loggings and lo nar site lo gold rich hem na gold. So lo here hem we fala experience one pala big project where hem come up lo central Guadalcanal and this pala project somehow hem help me fala lo site lo road access and hem make mo sem transport blow fala hem sabe kam drop fala kolsap lo house blow fala and nara something too also hem site lo benefit hem no start lo here hem start kam lo down lo tina then hem continue for come up yet and mi fala here that fala water supply hem na hem kuet lo area blow fala this time so maybe by hem kam lo next year or this project hem no stop ya hem continue and where best benefit where hem happen lo mi fala hem na water supply and by hem go lo next year and onward by hem still continue for make hem some pala benefit for mi fala especially lo mi fala lo Namupila community mi fala consist of Staka village lo there community where hem this time water hem continue for where project lo water continue for build up this time.
SIBC News understands main works on the project started as of Monday last week. For SIBC TV, I'm Eliza Kukutu.
Government is called on to not delay the 2025 budget but have it tabled in Parliament before the end of this year. Member of Parliament for Central Honiara constituency and Chair of the Public Accounts Committee, Honourable Gordon Darsililo, made the call during Parliament's recent sitting. He said the country's budget affects people's lives.
A full year, everyone wait for budget. Money I'm just speak here, I'm just tell him more that by 31st. By you looking 31st, I think you may run by no resume thing. Oh, how? What do you think? I think by him deliver by 31st, but without him move more or the post here. So, little bit sorry. Because budget is the most important thing here. Touching life blue people here. You play around on them budget, country by him die and already we die finish now. I'm no good now. Or some story blow 12 months, everything no good here. I'm not this time. So let's put some emphasis on the budget. The key thing that helped me by influencing this country for him worker is the budget. I'm happy that the Minister of Finance touched a little bit on the expenditure committee. That's very true. But the expenditure committee cannot trigger until you do the budget review expenditure. Public finance auditor can provide for that. And I think PEC is still waiting for that budget review. When will that happen? Well, the law is prescribing that after 7 months it should be delivered. It hasn't been delivered custom today. So that we can see whether or not the budget may work for our country or not. So, and then we are still waiting for the launch of the budget. And I can assure the Prime Minister, this PAC will never ever delay any deliberation on the budget. Never.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele assures Parliament that the 2025 budget will be tabled in Parliament before the end of this year.
I would like to assure this House that caucus and Cabinet will deliberate on the budget this week, and we expect the budget to come here, Parliament, next week, by early next week, and that gives time for the Public Accounts Committee to schedule its hearings on the Appropriation Bill 2025. On that note, let me thank the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee for the commitment that he has expressed in terms of the priority that the PAC will give to the budget in terms of its hearing, but also ensuring that a report is ready by the 2nd of December for us to deliberate on it. So thank you, Chairman PAC, for your commitment. That shows leadership on your part, and we all agree the budget is important for our country, and you have to pass it by the 31st of December this year, otherwise we will have a constitutional crisis.
PRC and Solomon Islands signs visa exemption agreement for ordinary passport holders from both countries. As Alex Dadamu reports, the agreement marks another milestone for both countries, which first established official diplomatic relations in 2019.
The People's Republic of China, PRC, and Solomon Islands on Thursday signed a visa exemption agreement for ordinary passport holders from both countries. The agreement has now enabled ordinary passport holders to be exempted from visa requirements. The signing was done by the PRC Ambassador to the Solomon Islands, His Excellency Kai Wei-ming, and the Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister Honorable Peter Sanol Agovaka, and was witnessed by Prime Minister Jeremiah Manele. In his remarks at the signing ceremony, Prime Minister Manele thanked the PRC government for the swift response taken to initiate the reciprocal visa exemption agreement.
Your Excellency Ambassador Wei-ming, on behalf of the government and the people of Solomon Islands, please allow me to convey our sincere and deepest appreciation to your government, especially for the speed with which your government has responded to our request to initiate reciprocal visa exemptions. This continues to demonstrate your commitment to enhance strategic communication and deepen cooperation in various fields with Solomon Islands, and to ensure the steady progress of the bilateral ties and bringing more benefits to our two peoples.
Meanwhile, His Excellency Wei-ming said he is proud to be part of the signing event and confirmed that China advocates for building a community with a shared future for mankind.
Very, very happy and proud to come to sign the agreement between the government of the People's Republic of China and the government of Solomon Islands on mutual visa exemption for citizens holding ordinary passports. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the hard works of the working teams from both countries that make today's event possible. As Honorable Prime Minister mentioned just now, in 2022, our two countries signed the agreement on mutual visa exemption for holders of diplomatic, official, or service passports and passports for public affairs, greatly facilitating the official exchanges between our two countries.
According to the article of the agreement, citizens of both countries holding valid ordinary passport shall be exempted from visa requirement for entry or transit of either country for a single stay not exceeding 30 days and for a cumulative period of stay not exceeding 90 days in any 180 days period. Alex Dadamu for SIBC TV.
The Ministry of Culture and Tourism officially launched the Discovering the Past Prehistory of the Solomon Islands exhibition. Based on a 15-year bilateral archaeological cooperation, the event marks a major milestone in uncovering some of the country's rich history.
The Ministry of Culture and Tourism officially launched the Discovering the Past Prehistory of the Solomon Islands exhibition in Honiara on Thursday. The exhibition is based on a 15-year bilateral archaeological cooperation between the Commission of the Archaeology of Non-European Cultures of the German Archaeological Institute and the Solomon Islands National Museum. In her remarks at the event, Minister for Culture and Tourism, Traylin Douglas, says the event marks a major milestone in uncovering some of the country's rich history.
Today's event also symbolizes the fruits of a 15-year archaeological partnership between the Commission for Archaeology of Non-European Cultures of the German Archaeological Institute, under the auspices of the German Ministry of Foreign Affairs and our own Solomon Islands National Museum, under the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. This partnership has led to numerous archaeological research projects and studies in Malaita, Guadalcanal, and Gela, focusing on lithic, which is stone tools, and prehistoric sites. The findings of these studies have been fascinating and invaluable in understanding the rich prehistory of the Solomon Islands. The study of stone tools artifacts revealed the ingenuity and resourcefulness of our ancestors. These high-quality stone tools crafted right here in our Solomon Islands, thousands of years ago, tell a story of skill, adaptation, and survival.
Meanwhile, Honorary Consul of the Federal Republic of Germany to Solomon Islands, Her Excellency Beate Gretzky, says the partnership between the German Archaeological Institute and the National Museum has led to significant historical findings for the two countries.
The partnership has led to numerous archaeological research projects and studies. These findings have been most valuable in terms of understanding the rich prehistory of the Solomon Islands, and they have considerably contributed to the global understanding of human history, and they have continued and continue to strengthen academic and cultural ties between the Solomon Islands and Germany. Today's official launch of the exhibition Discovering the Past, Prehistory of the Solomon Islands underscores the depth and significance of the discoveries made. It's also a great way to showcase the fruitful results of this partnership between Germany and the Solomon Islands.
For SIBC TV, I'm Eliza Kukutu.
Having a strong research culture within the Central Bank of Solomon Islands, CBSI, is of great importance, given Solomon Islands has had a volatile economic history, with weak institutions, difficult physical management, and frequent external shocks. Alex Dadamu reports.
Fostering a strong research culture within the Central Bank of Solomon Islands, CBSI, is of great importance given Solomon Islands' volatile economy. CBSI Governor Dr. Luke Farrow made the statement at the inaugural International Research Conference with the Asian Development Bank Institute ADBI and the Asia Pacific Applied Economics Association last week. Dr. Farrow said the country's economy today faces a complex economic landscape.
The Solomon Islands, like many other Pacific islands, faces an increasingly complex economic landscape shaped by domestic and international challenges, from global financial market volatility to the impacts of climate change. Our economic policies must be responsive, adaptive, and based on the best available data. In this regard, the importance of fostering a strong research culture within the central bank cannot be overstated. High-quality research is the foundation upon which sound policy decisions are made.
Dr. Farrow explains research partnerships will have tangible impacts on the Solomon Islands' economic policies.
It enables us to better understand the dynamics of our economy, identify potential risks, and design policies that are not only effective, but also sustainable. Through the collaboration with APAIA and ADBI, I'm optimistic that the Central Bank will be able to engage in joint research projects that will have a tangible impact on our economic policy making in the country. One of the most critical aspects of this international collaboration is the opportunity to partake in evidence-based policy making. The Solomon Islands is at a juncture where high-quality research and data-driven analysis are essential for addressing both immediate and long-term economic challenges that we face. The insights gleaned from joint research initiatives will allow us to design more effective monetary and fiscal policies, ensuring that our economy remains resilient in the face of external shocks, and especially when we just came out from the pandemic.
Alex Dadamu for SIBC TV.
Review report of the Solomon Islands legislative compliance with the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women conducted in Honiara. Mary Manelegua with the details.
A validation workshop on the review report of Solomon Islands legislative compliance with the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, was held in Honiara on Friday. The workshop is a critical step in the process of finalizing the review findings on Solomon Islands compliance to CEDAW. CEDAW Technical Assistant Ethel Sigimanu confirmed this to SIBC News.
Review now compliance, legislative compliance procedure. Whether laws Playomi is compliant, wait and see. Yeah, whether I'm compliant and addressing the need for CEDAW not discriminate, for him achieving substantive equality, and whether it's taking the necessary initiative to make laws and policies so that you meet fully compliant with women's human rights. The process that Nipala follow come through finish. We started with the Exemption workshop where people introduced what the project is about. And we did that area to solicit the support from the different organizations, ministries, government, NGOs, development partners, CSOs, even individuals, helping me to do the review and make their input. Law also, immigrant, but I'm not addressing the part of the yes, we are aware of the article or saying, but immigrant law. No, we are not going to go there because we found the side law custom. So it's this kind of thing.
Sigimano adds that after the review, a report will be submitted to the UN Women.
Okay, by finalizing report. And then taking all your inputs into account through this validation, then by submitting to UN Women, and then once that one is finalized, it will go as a tool for using by the UN committee or by UN Women, but others who have access to the document alongside law can see.
Mary Maneligua for SIBC TV.
The MSG says plastic pollution remains a major threat to the environment and marine ecosystems in Solomon Islands. As with many other coastal regions, most plastic pollution in the Solomon Islands originates from land-based sources. As Eliza Kukutu reports, poor waste management infrastructure and limited recycling facilities mean that plastic waste ends up in rivers and eventually flows into the sea.
Plastic pollution remains a major threat to the environment and marine ecosystems in Solomon Islands and around the world. Director General of the Melanesian Spearhead Group, MSG Secretariat, Leonard Loma highlighted this during the Blueprints hybrid training, Waste to Wonders training this week. He explained that over millions of metric tons of waste are produced every year globally.
Plastic pollution is deeply troubling amongst the three planetary crises. Studies indicate, and the head of AIS has already indicated, that the world produces more than 400 million metric tons of plastic waste each year. Less than 10% of plastic waste ever produced has been recycled, only 10%.
Plastic pollution has been a growing problem in the country, with the latest research indicating a large amount of plastic waste produced in the capital alone.
The presence of plastic waste in the Solomon Islands, I am briefed, has been growing in magnitude over the years. From reports, waste generation in Honiara city is estimated at 80 tons per day, and about 10% of that washes into the ocean, and this is mostly plastic waste.
Solomon Islands currently enforces a regulation banning the manufacture, distribution and supply of certain single-use plastics in the country. Mr. Loma emphasized that addressing plastic pollution is everyone's responsibility.
Let me repeat, the fight against plastic waste pollution is the responsibility of all of us. It is not only for the national government to address, but the responsibility of all stakeholders, including producers, business houses that trade in these products, development partners, but most importantly, the citizens of Solomon Islands, us.
For SIBC TV, I'm Eliza Kukutu.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.